Greetings to another video. Today I'm going to talk about mental health because this week is World Mental Health Awareness Week and I've had my struggles with this, and I just thought I would share my experience in the hope that it can potentially help or encourage or just give a little bit of hope to anybody else that might be having a bit of a tough time at the minute, because my bad experience and my kind of lowest point of my life then turned into the most incredible, amazing thing that I could never have ever have imagined. And I wanted to share that just to kind of show that, just hopefully give a little bit of encouragement, because mental health obviously is such a, like, gladly now, like, it's such a thing that is talked about more, which I think is important. And so, okay, let me just get straight into, I guess, my history with it. So I think it was probably around 2010 I developed an eating disorder. So I'd started just kind of going to the gym, losing a little bit of weight, and that turned into, I guess, just not a healthy way to be around food and calories and the scales. And yeah, it turned into like an eating disorder, which was, if anyone doesn't know what it feels like, it's like a prison in your own mind. You cannot stop thinking, or how would I describe it? It's just a constant like chatter in your brain of thinking that you shouldn't eat this and you shouldn't eat that, and if you do that then you should do this. And it's almost like, do you know, I think when you're feeling kind of generally happy, okay, and you have like the good and the bad, like voices in your head, like we've all got like a good, like positive thing, and then we've also got like the negative. So do you know, like if you're on a climb and you're like, the negative is like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you have to keep training the one that's saying, of course you can, you've done this before, you've done it a million times, you can do it. In that period, I don't feel like I had a positive voice. All I could hear was the negative. And I mean, I think probably part of that was to do with, I wasn't eating properly, I wasn't fueling, I wasn't nourishing my body, I was punishing it. And obviously that is going to affect your mental state, and it did and I guess for me, I was very lucky because people have these issues and eating disorders for years and years, and I probably had it for maybe 2 years at the most. Long story short, I think because I felt so bad and so low and I just wanted to feel healthier, I decided to just, I don't know what it was, I just was like, one day I was like, right, I'm just going to eat healthier. I'm going to eat all the fruits and the veggies and the juices and like all the good stuff. I need to nourish my body, and hopefully that will help change my mindset. And then I ended up buying a bike. This exact bike. I love this bike so much. So at this point, I wasn't really a cyclist. I was like commuting maybe like 5k to work, and it was hard. It was hilly. Well, hilly for me relatively at that time. And then I just decided to buy a road bike. And when I first got this road bike, I felt so amazing on this bike, sorry. I got on it in the shop and it was just unbelievable. Like, because I've been riding a mountain bike and then getting on a road bike that actually fit me, I just felt like I just felt amazing on it. And then I guess from there, I just started exploring on it. So I was in Southeast Asia. I took it in the bike box. I went to Australia, and I just started traveling around on my bike and having I don't know what it was. It was just the feeling of like freedom and fun. And like, I think when you get on a bike, it's almost like when you're a kid, and the feeling of riding a bike when you're a kid, it is freedom. It's like the first chance you've got to kind of go anywhere further than just being able to walk. You can go a little bit further, you can meet your friends, you can do all these fun things. And getting the bike was just, again, it just felt like being a kid again. I still feel like that most times when I go on the bike. I think it is the most incredible, amazing, fun thing that you can do is ride a bike, because for me, it's exercise, it's socializing. You meet so many different people, you get to see so much, you get to be in the middle of nature, you get to smell it, you get to really immerse yourself in it. And I just don't think there's anything that comes close. It's making me teary thinking about it. it just changed my life, and I could never ever have imagined. And then I don't know, because at this point I'd put weight on because I'd had this eating disorder. I'd lost a lot of weight, and then because I'd started eating again, I'd put a lot of weight on. So at this point I'm like 100 kilos. So riding a bike was not an easy thing for me, but I just stuck with it because I was like, I know this is what I'm meant to do. I know I'm meant to do better than what my life currently was. And it was the bike. It was the catalyst that changed my life exponentially. It became my new hobby, my new way of meeting new friends. It became my job. Like, I never expected. It was a hobby. YouTube was always a hobby. It was just something fun that I wanted to share, things that I was learning. I was learning to ride a bike because I'd never ridden a road bike before. And it was a massive, steep learning curve. I remember when I came out of the shop, the guy was like, I'd asked him, I was like, how do you change the gears? And they were like, oh, you'll figure it out. So I was a complete novice. I had no idea. So I was like 100 kilos. I could barely like pedal up like a little incline. But I just stuck with it. And the way that, the way the bike changed my life, I just cannot even ever put into words. And it's this bike. Like, I love that. Sorry, I don't want to cry because this is meant to be a hopefully an encouraging thing. I think I'm crying because it means so much, and I will never ever 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 get rid of this bike. It is so sentimental. It's not got a tyre on it, but I'm looking after it. I absolutely love this bike. So yeah, it's been everywhere. It taught me my first 50k, my first 100k, my first 200 I've done on this. Like, I've loved it so much, and I guess I just wanted to share that because, again, from something that was so difficult and tough, became like this incredible, amazing experience and hobby and, I guess, way of life. Like, a cyclist, like, we know cycling is like a whole way of life, and the places that I've been able to experience because of it, the people, the confidence in myself, I guess, because I guess around that eating disorder, like, I did have negative thoughts about myself, which are hard to deal with, but I feel like the bike gave me back so much more, like, confidence, and I've just loved it. I just love, and I think, I don't know whether you can see that in some of my videos, but that is why I think I love the bike, and I am so forever grateful for this bike and me getting this bike, because it helps a lot. And I do think that a lot of, this is just my opinion, I do think that I don't know how to say this without, I don't know, someone will be like, oh, you're not meant to say that because you're not a medical professional. But I do think a lot of mental health difficulties can be relieved by exercise, by sunlight, by fresh air, by, did I say exercise? But just being able to get out, because I do feel like as a society, this is going to be a long video, sorry, but I think it's worth talking about. I think that we are, as a community, we are just very segregated. We are in cities, we are not in communities anymore. We are not in nature. We are not getting the exercise that we need. And I think having those things massively, for me personally, like, massively impact my mood, my mental health, if I don't have those things. And that's why I think it's so important that we have that. And I'm such a big advocate for cycling. I'm a big advocate for cycling, but maybe you'll understand a little bit more now why I am. And I think a lot of things could be helped if people cycle, if we got out more, because there's clubs, communities, there are groups for everybody. So I guess some of the things that I would suggest if you are going through a difficult time, obviously I'd be like, try and get outside. I know sometimes you don't feel like doing that. I know I didn't, but there's a phrase that I always remember, and it's mood follows action. And sometimes you don't feel like it, but then as soon as you get out doing it, you're kind of like, oh, I'm glad I did that. And so just try, even if it's, you don't have to do a massive thing. You could be like, I'm just going to go outside for a walk for 5 minutes. That's all you need to do. And then that might turn into 10 minutes. I think it's just that initial thing of actually trying just to take a bit of action to do something. And one of my friends, I think it was Chantel actually, she had said about, we were just talking about all this and she's like, just do one kind thing for yourself. We were talking about advice and stuff, and she's like, just do one small kind thing for yourself today. Even if it's that thing is just having a really nice shower, that you use all your nice stuff, have 5 minutes longer in the shower, or make a really nice drink for yourself, or watch something that you've been waiting to watch for a while. So that's another thing. And talk to people. I think as adults, and I'm guilty of this as well, we don't like to admit that we're not having an easy time. And I feel like, for me, again, like, you just want to pretend like you've got everything under control. Like, I don't need any help. I don't need to talk about anything. It's fine. But actually, like, having those few people that you can really trust with everything are so invaluable. I mean, and if you don't feel like you have that, I mean, there's always therapy, there's counselling, there's always somebody that you can talk to. Because I feel like for me, when I don't talk about things, I feel like I've got like a big ball of wool in my head and it's all like a tangled ball. And then when I talk about it, it's getting that tangled ball of wool like untangled and unravelled, being able to understand it a little bit better. So there's that. What else would I say? Maybe just being around people. My dad sent me, where's my phone? Let me just get it, one sec. I'd had a bit of not an easy day, and my dad sent me this, and I'm probably going to cry because it's probably one of the nicest things that he's ever sent, and I will leave a link to it if you want to read it or you want to send it to somebody. But that's the picture. It's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and I'm going to read it. If you want to skip, you can. Okay, let me try and do it. Today was a difficult day, said Pooh. There was a pause. Do you want to talk about it? Asked Piglet. No, said Pooh after a bit. No. I don't think I do. That's okay, said Piglet, and he came and sat beside his friend. What are you doing? Asked Pooh. Nothing really, said Piglet. Only, I know what difficult days are like. I quite often don't feel like talking about it on my difficult days either. But goodness, continued Piglet. Okay. Difficult days are so much easier when you know you've got someone there for you, and I'll always be here for you, Pooh. And as Pooh sat there working through in his head his difficult day, while the solid, reliable Piglet sat next to him quietly, swinging his little legs, he thought his best friend had never been more right. And I just think that is so lovely. Just send that to somebody. I'm going to leave a link to that in the comments, so if you do want to send it to anybody. Because I also think we've just got to be kind and look out for each other, because I think sometimes we don't always know what people have got going on because we want to hide it sometimes, but just having that and knowing, I just think it's a very nice thing. And if any of you ever want to message me, feel free to message me on Instagram. I will always try and help in any way I can, just to be someone to listen. And I will also leave a couple of links to people or places that you can get help if you are struggling at the minute. But just know that you aren't on your own, and there will always be somebody there to listen. Whew, okay. I think back to riding bikes, right? I will catch up with you all very soon, back on the bike, and thank you so much for watching, supporting my channel. Again, I am so forever grateful that the bike and this has just become my job, and I will promise that I will always do everything I can to try and, I don't know, give you entertaining, informative, supportive videos as well, because you've supported me for so many years. So thank you so much. I will see you all next video. Okay, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.